And then we have Michael Jackson.
Okay, so
I mean, I also like Vanilla. So
okay, so the reason that Michael Jackson is on there is because, so as a kid, I went through a phase where I was.
Yeah, you spoke about this, right?
Yeah,
I think you have.
Really?
I feel like this is weirdly familiar. Gone talking about
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I have talked about it on the podcast, but as a kid, I went through this massive phase where I was obsessed with Michael Jackson. like I was a weird.
Definitely said this.
I was a weird. I don't know if I've said it in private to you guys or on the podcast, but like, yeah, I went through a phase when I was like just an obsessive Michael Jackson kid. Like,
I think everyone's gone through that phase.
Was the target audience, right?
Once. Yeah.
This was before that phase, but you know, regardless of what his image was, you know, or what happens later in life, there were, you know, his music fucking slaps. And
of course,
it's like, yes, it's vanilla, but it's a classic for a reason. Right?
I fucking love the song "Pretty Young Thing," but it's so hard. It's so hard to listen to that song.
Because the lyrical content.
You know, you know how when like they like separate the art from the artist? I do, but sometimes it's really fucking hard to.
Yeah, that song definitely didn't age well.
That's one of those songs I'm like, why? This song is so good, but why did it have to be ruined? I literally cannot listen to that song without being like, this is a great song.
And then you remember what it was about. MJ, I feel...
But like so many of his songs are amazing.
MJ's just one of those like artists that I feel you could be at any party or like any convention, like with any amount of people that could have completely different personalities on everything. The moment a Michael Jackson song comes on, everyone is unanimously like, "Fuck yeah!"
His song's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we talked about this before, but like I don't think we'll ever see someone that had the reach or was like as famous as Michael Jackson was.
People famous just by standing.
I love that. Because like part of the reason I got into Michael Jackson was because my dad actually introduced me to Michael Jackson. I remember he bought like a VHS of like the top 25 hits of, I think it was like a 25th anniversary.
I wish I had like a deep story of every single pick. I don't.
This is the reason I had the picks, because I was like, I don't know how to talk about the music. I'm just going to talk about the story.
It's like Slumdog Millionaire. It's like every single answer has like a goddamn 10-part flashback. This is insane.
Yeah, so it's one of the weirdest experiences where like you go to like the countryside and fucking Thailand or something. Like they've never experienced internet there. They barely have electricity there. You know, you go to the fucking countryside and like even going in the middle of nowhere, somehow there will be this one farmer who will have this like old beaten up cassette tape of like Michael Jackson Thriller. And like they will not know a single word of English, right? And they're like, "Oh, you grew up in England? You know Michael Jackson? You Michael Jackson Thriller, beat it." And I'm just like, how has Michael Jackson how does Michael Jackson have this reach?
Well, he's the king of pop, right?
Yeah. So like it's still like thinking about it still blows my mind just how famous one person is.
I think Thriller, even to this day, is the most sold album ever.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I think so like I have any idea.
Yeah. Which is like stupid.
That sounds right.
It's like it's like by stupid I mean like the difference between Thriller and everything else is like stupid. Like
true.
It's insane. Yeah, because like you know, you could go to the bumfuck middle of nowhere in Japan.
Yeah.
And there'll be some like decrepit 70-year-old, 80-year-old lady, you know, putting rice in the rice fields and being like, "Oh, Michael Jackson."
I can describe her as decrepit. Just this piece of shit old lady. They're all useless.
Decrepit wasn't the right word.
This poor old lady just trying to give you some rice, which Jerry will say will taste the same anyway.
It all tastes the same. Yeah, who just like knows Michael Jackson. It's like it's just
everyone knows Michael
It's ridiculous.
Jackson.
Like
it's like weird. It's like weird to think how one person got this famous to like so many cultures and so many countries that obviously had nothing to do with the US or just like even listen to that kind of music in the first place. And I mean, Thriller is like, I know putting like Thriller on there is kind of like putting like, you know, fucking Zelda or something as your favorite video game of all time. But I mean, it's one of the most legendary albums, and he is one of the most legendary artists for a reason. Yeah, and
absolutely.
Yeah, and I was a weird Michael Jackson kid. I actually
did you learn how to moonwalk?
Huh?
Did you learn how to moonwalk?
I attempted to learn how to moonwalk. I think
I could moonwalk at one point.
I could moonwalk at one point too. Yeah.
Could you actually?
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
Did you figure it out by yourself? Or
No. I watch YouTube videos.
I think I watched YouTube videos.
Okay. Because I remember trying to figure it out as a kid, right? Trying to figure out how the moonwalk works, right? Because
You go like frame by frame on the video, just like analyzing the moonwalk.
yeah, because and as like a 5-6-year-old kid or whatever, I was like, I got this. This looks exactly like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And it was only until like years later when YouTube existed and YouTube videos existed did I realize this is not how you do the moonwalk.
Like,
I was doing it wrong.
I was just walking backwards.
Literally, I was just like walking backwards the entire time, thinking I look cool as fuck. No.
I tried to do like the leg like pop thing that he does.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I tried to do that.
I tried to do that and almost dislocated my knee. So I was like, ow!
That's how Joey became a pensioner at age 5.
I was like, oh, is that why he shouts ow? Because it just fucking hurts, right? Yeah.
And this Japanese artist.
Yeah. So okay. Fuck me.
Well done. Just frothing over Michael Jackson, just slurping up.
So that you can add that to the compilation of Garnt tries to drink like a human being. So I guess this is with the Mayo, but this is more of like where I put her in just because I feel like she's a genre of music that I have just recently gotten into.
Yeah.
And as with everything in my life, somehow everything always comes back to Domestic Girlfriend.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
As
was like, I was born for this moment.
as it always does, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what this genre of music is because it's not really just J-pop. It's more of like, okay, so how I would describe it. Do you guys know what utaites are?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so utaites are like, I believe, singers or musicians who mostly originated from Nico Nico, who started off doing a lot of like Hatsune Miku songs and
Just
stuff like
covers
that.
in
Yeah,
general,
covers
yeah.
and stuff like that. So a lot of these musicians who came from the scene ended up just like, I guess, graduating and just made, started making their own songs with their own original artists. And there's this, I don't know what the genre is, but there's a lot of artists in this genre that I got introduced to by the Domestic Girlfriend opening. Because, Domestic Girlfriend is a very divisive show. I know that.
Really?
I know that. The opening fucking slaps.
Yeah, the opening's amazing.
The opening is fucking amazing.
I don't know the opening.
I'm not going to even be able to attempt to sing it.
it's hard.
It's not exactly a catchy song. It is just a banger,
like
right? Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. And so that's how I discovered that artist, Minami. And Spotify recommendations, YouTube recommendations. So I got really into Minami and her songs from the Domestic Girlfriend opening, and that kind of introduced me to this world of artists like Zutamayo, Eve. Who else is fucking Yorishika, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yorishika,
Yeah, so how I describe them is like they are anime music that don't have an anime that they play to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I've listened to this. Didn't know their name, but like if you go to my YouTube, you can see that I've listened to this person a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like that genre of like, I'm making the anime in my head.
Yeah.
I'm making this up.
Yeah. So like a lot of these artists that I listen to now have now been picked up for like anime openings, right?
Yes.
So I remember like I got into Zutamaya and then I got into Eve, and then I remember listening to the Jujutsu Kaisen opening when that came out, and for the first time in my life, I'm just like, oh my god, I know this band. Because I'd never heard this song before, but like they have such a distinct style that I had that moment where I'm just like, I've been following them since they were underground, motherfucker.
That's it. I read the manga.
Yeah.
He just waved that in front of the Jesus Christ fans. It's like, I know this song.
It is the equivalent of the I've read this when the manga wasn't big, right? Because because there are so many artists in this field that have now been picked up for an anime opening or ending, and like there's this feeling of like, yes, your music slaps. I'm fucking proud of you.
I'm validated for being a fan.
I was like that with Dinto Shigure.
Oh, really?
Like before they became the Psycho Pass opening and the Tokyo Ghoul opening, I was like, I knew them before this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, you knew before them.
I knew before they were anime.
Then also I'm a little sad because now everyone knows Eve as, it's the Jujutsu Kaisen band.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, they're not just the Jujutsu
There's so much
Kaisen
more.
band. There's so much more than that. Listen to the rest of their fucking songs. So yeah, I mean, like this is, I guess that's the kind of music I listen to the most now. That's like, that's like my weeb kind of.
It's really big in Japan right now, especially like Zutto Mayonaka and like Yorushika. They're like, yeah.